Well, everyone, I don't know about you guys, but did you ever grow up feeling like your feelings didn't matter? Were you expected to do your chores and responsibilities no matter how overwhelmed you felt? Did you find yourself talking to like your friends, your teachers, your coaches, or even strangers about problems you never felt comfortable discussing at home? And have you ever wondered how those experiences shaped the person you became? I'm a firm believer in this because all of my friends and the people in my life, they really helped me become the person I am today. Growing up, there was always things to do, like always things to do. Whether it would be out there chopping wood, getting the dishes done, having to separate time from friends because I had to stay at home and shovel snow, or I had to take care of the house, or things like that, right? Like we all grow up with these responsibilities. But the thing is chores themselves weren't the problem. The problem was feeling like there was no room for emotions. If I was sad, frustrated, overwhelmed, or just struggling with something, whether it be friendships, a girl I was dating, schoolwork, how to get homework done, how to prioritize my life, like putting school first and friends second kind of thing, it often felt like nobody wanted to hear about it. The expectation I had was simply just keep going. Don't stop. Don't stay there. Don't sulk. Just keep going. So I did. I learned how to get things done. I learned about being responsible. But I also learned something else. I learned to stop sharing how I felt with everybody I met because sometimes it wasn't always the best outcome. However, there was always a friend that would listen, a teacher that would sit there and say, "Hey, I see you're getting behind in schoolwork. Here's what we could do to bring it back up." They were always in my corner. Sometimes even a complete stranger who showed more understanding and a 5 minute conversation that I felt that I could actually feel at home. At the time, I thought I was just looking for someone to talk to, some attention. But looking back, I was actually searching for connection. I was searching for validation. I was searching for someone to say, "Your feelings matter." That's all I wanted. Just someone to say, "My feelings mattered." It wasn't just about theirs. It wasn't just about why I didn't do this. It wasn't about me being called a mama's boy and a wuss and weak and a family surrounded by men, right? My brother's always hounding me because I was there to care about my mom's emotions and feelings more than I was theirs. There was always something that, I don't know, I guess something you could say that nobody really wanted to hear. Nobody wanted the truth. Nobody wanted to hear how tired I was that they were smoking pot and cigarettes in the house or how much they drank. But you know what? When we're not heard at our home, we may spend years looking for support everywhere else. Some people become fiercely independent, some struggle to trust other people, and some even become people pleasers because it's all they know how to be. But the thing about this is that growth, in order to grow, begins with when we recognize those patterns. This is why family patterns easily recreate themselves over and over. Oh man, all these years I spent trying not to become my brothers or my dad, and then here I am, I became them. Great, right? But you know what? We can appreciate the lessons responsibility taught us while also acknowledging the emotional needs that weren't met. We can learn that asking for support isn't weakness, like my brother or my stepfathers would say. Crying was a weakness, asking for help was a weakness. You're not strong enough. You're a crybaby. All these things I heard so many times throughout my life, and it just enraged me. It made me angry, made me regret ever wanting to go home from school. I'd always say to myself when I'm about to leave school, "Oh my God, what am I going home to?" But we can learn that our feelings deserve a voice, and we can become the kind of person we once needed. Because you grow up with it and you don't have it, so you want to make sure that when you have your own family, you want them to have it, But we need to become that person. And the hardest thing is how do we become that person? How do we change our family patterns, per se, to make ourselves better or become the father we want to be? Not the father, well, I guess you should say we not follow role models we had to grow up with, right? But I'm going to ask you guys, did you rely more on friends, teachers, or people than your own family growing up? Do you still do that today? How do you think these expectations affected your relationships today? Do you think that you find the same type of people in your relationships, like your mother or your father, because it's just what you know and you're accustomed to? What choices have helped you grow beyond your childhood experiences? Did you find an outlet? Did you find a different approach? What is it? You got to share these thoughts. Share them in my comments. Share your story. I mean, you never know. It just might help someone realize they're not alone. All of our lives, we're taught just to be alone in ways. We grew up playing video games and isolating ourselves from our family. Rarely ever playing family games or anything like that to bring everybody together. It was always everybody do their own thing, find your own way through it. Good luck. Well, I have to say that my luck changed at the age of 12. Well, 11 going on 12. When I met someone in my life who changed my entire perspective and view of how I was going to change the way I was. His name was Luis, and he ran a daycare in my hometown. Stay tuned, and I will continue to share multiple lessons throughout multiple times of my life that he was there for me, and he became like a father that I never had. Stay tuned.